you thought it was over, we started it over. Just a different chapter, but still part of the story. Spirit of a patriot, but the heart of a soldier. If you wasn't part of the grind, you can't be part of the glory. We right here, we ain't going nowhere. It's your worst nightmare. We back and they all scared. Every year is our year. The defense is top tier. Whenever you see that red and blue, it's a new era. They too scared of us. I don't know who said it was over, but they lied. The truth never miss. Kicking down the door like who let him in. We been grinding and we ain't worried about the small talk. We big timers.
Yeah, can't believe it. We leaving. Yeah, we achieving. Can't be beaten. Say it loud, say it proud from the top of my lungs. Hometown, sacred ground. You ain't trying with us. Around this time, you really can't deny. You can't run, you can't hide when the Patriot comes.
All right, everyone. Welcome to the Patriots Friday Night Lights podcast. How are we doing?
Hold up, my bad. What's up? What's up? Yeah, my damn light went out. Did I turn it off?
Did your light just go out?
Yeah, my spotlight. No, I'm about to turn my regular light on.
Oh, okay.
The Patriots light was on. Okay. Now we lit.
Hey, there we go. Okay, so you wanted to just kind of go over, some iconic moments in Patriots history. So I wanted you to start it off.
I feel like one of the more underrated.
I would say let's do one that not everyone usually thinks about.
One of the more underrated plays was it's so many because playoff games.
There's one that I was thinking of that earlier that kind of came to mind.
I think Trey Flowers' sack on Matt Ryan late in that Super Bowl is kind of goes under the radar.
Okay.
Because it did take them out of field goal range.
Yep.
That would have been ball game.
Yep, that's a good one.
Because we could have went with Hightowers, but I feel like that one gets
a lot. I mean that was that was probably the most impactful defensive play of the game.
Yeah, it sparked everything. We were stuck on 9 points until then.
You're right.
Yeah, it sparked everything. Or 12, I think. What we had about.
There you go. Nice.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I feel like Trey Flowers' sack late in that game versus Matt Ryan did us justice because it got us the ball back. Though Tom Brady walked down the field, obviously. The story writes itself. Two game-winning drives, you can say, in the same game, and overtime plus, you know what I mean? Because with Tom, it never fails. Because I saw something earlier they were talking about the most ever. He has 4 wins when being down 17 points or more. And that's the most all time. It's like that's who Tom was. He was never out of the game. I can never say I seen a point where Tom quit. That's always been my main thing. When thinking about the dynasty and thinking about Tom was just his character, the way he just played the game and everything. He didn't just get up at the podium and talk. You understand what I'm saying? Tom was.
He was there to win every time, no matter what.
He never quit, and like I said, it'll be the greatest story ever told because look at where he came from.
Right.
Everything went right for the Patriots because if I'm not mistaken, did we not have a first rounder that year because we traded it for Bill?
Yeah, we traded.
So, at the end of the day, that should be Robert Kraft's claim to the Hall of Fame right there. I traded a first round pick for a coach that won me 6 titles.
Unfortunately, it sounds like he's kind of ruined himself with that committee, but I mean,
yeah, but I feel like whatever it is you feel about him personally or whatever the case may be, in his prime, or what he put together. And it's sad that how it ended because maybe everybody was power tripping, but at the end of the day, he made like from the way he got the team to what the team did, because I don't think a lot of people know that he spent over 10 years trying to buy that team.
Yeah, because then he had to buy the land.
Yep. He was
right,
the landlord.
to the point where the Patriots just had to sell it to him because he
Yeah,
was
because they weren't getting paid for concession sales, the parking lot sales.
right.
Like,
He basically
and
poked them out.
yeah, and the team was already about to go bankrupt. That's why the NFL was about to take over. He saved the team from going to St. Louis because the New England Patriots were about to be the St. Louis Patriots or whatever they were about to turn them into. They were about to leave Foxborough as well to go to, if I'm not mistaken, Hartford, Connecticut, or I could be mistaken, but
Yeah.
somewhere in Connecticut. So Kraft did his big one, and for him to, I think he put up 15 million of his own money. Then he got the bank to put up like the other 156 million or something like that, and he got outbidded for the team, but the team was still sold to him. And we, regardless of what people want to say about the dynasty or whatever the case may be, you'll never see that again over a 20-year span.
No, we ended up with the greatest coach of all time and the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
At the same time for 20 years. And also, the greatest tight end of all time was a part of it. The greatest special teams player of all time was a part of it at some point. Right. Like, it was just like literally the all-time greats all within a 20-year span.
Right.
That's just impossible.
Yeah, and like people, some argue if we're a historic franchise or not. We are. It's just the only reason people may try to argue it now because we're in modern times. But for us to have 6 Super Bowl championships right now and to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're this historic franchise because they were known for doing what in the 90s? Okay, we dominated in two different. We dominated in the early 2000s and in the 2010s.
Right. I mean, it's like them, like the 49ers, Dallas.
Yeah, we're a historic franchise.
None of them have won anything more recently than us.
Right. We're a historic franchise, regardless of, because when, let's say 15 years from now, who are they going to be talking about? Everybody's chasing what? Okay, the Chiefs, they couldn't three-peat. Okay, they were the first team since the Patriots to repeat. But do I think they're going to be us? No, because the talent levels is just completely different now. We're going to call a spade a spade,
Yeah, right. And like the Chiefs, they're getting older. Right, obviously, there's Mahomes. As long as they have Mahomes, they'll be Super Bowl contenders. But
can they pivot like how we did?
Right, and I mean, yeah, exactly.
We pivoted every time. Like, even the years, like it took us another 10 years to win a Super Bowl, and thank God for Malcolm Butler because he saved us from a 3rd straight Super Bowl loss. But even in those times, we took 2 Super Bowl losses. So we were there in 2007. We were there in 2012. So just overall, like time, the dynasty, like it means something to me because that was my childhood.
Right.
I mean, like, no, I'm not from Boston. I'm not from, and I'll tell you, I don't give a shit. That's my team. Like, that's always been my team since I was a kid. I'll put my knowledge up against anybody. And by the end of it, you tell me if that's my team or not.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So another moment I was thinking of that I was trying to think of something that wasn't Super Bowl related or like playoff related, but one that kept on coming in my head was when Marcus Jones returned that punt against the Jets for the win. That was Mac Jones' second year. I remember it was 3-0 at the game in the game, or 3-3, and where the clock ran out and he took it to the sideline and came across, and I forget who, but had like the nasty block to kind of seal it. But right at the end of the game, I will always remember that punt return. That was pretty awesome.
Right. Hell yeah.
Bad year, but I mean, that was at the time where we still had the streak against the Jets of like beating them consecutively.
Mhm.
So like, to keep that streak in that fashion was just awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was like, when we finally took that first loss to the Jets, I was so pissed because it's like, these guys, like, we can't lose to these guys.
Right. Yeah, it was brutal, but that was
Like, because it's like the Jets, it's like from the color of their uniform to just everything about them, like historically, the
right.
Jets,
Like historical franchises, they are one of the worst ever.
because they play in a big market in that area, but it's like, what have they done? They keep talking about Joe Namath and all of that. Like, with all due respect to Joe Namath, that's in a
Overrated. He's overrated.
totally different era. Totally different era. In an era where football was still figuring itself out. So anybody that was a superior athlete, you know what I mean, or maybe understand the game a little bit more than somebody else, would climb to that peak. But at the end of the day, for them not to be able to find a quarterback for 50 years, I'm like that's the mind-boggling part to it, because it's like, what the fuck?
Like Drake May right now, he could go, like, if you put a list up of all Jets quarterbacks, you can put him toe to toe, and he'll probably be better right now than like 90% of what they've ever had.
Hell yeah, for sure.
Like, that's so bad.
Hell yeah. Sit down.
What's
Keep going.
another moment?
You said another moment.
Mhm.
Ty Law's interception versus Peyton Manning in the AFC Championship.
Nice. Yep.
Like that sparked everything. That sparked off everything. I'm looking for my remote. That's what I'm looking for. But I feel like that sparked off everything, because it's like that year they swore like Peyton Manning was just running circles around everybody, and it just seemed like every time he saw us, and that was the time that I feel like the Patriots, everybody wanted the question that the Patriots is going to be dethroned. And then I feel like every time, like in moments like those, like where we get questioned if we're going to be dethroned, we beat the hell out of those teams. Those young, hot, up-and-coming teams. We beat the hell out of them. The only one that really gave us a run was the Kansas City Chiefs. Weren't able to
then playoffs beat them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They would have beat us in the playoffs, but from the first time that kid played us twice that year, he ate us up in the second half. If you ever notice, look at almost every game the Chiefs played against the Patriots when Bill was a coach. Patrick Mahomes usually does not score in the first half. It usually doesn't. Like, if you go back and look at those games, I think one of the games, it was like, I think he had like 9 points going in at halftime. I think the other one was like 0, and he came out and threw up 37 in the second half. Like, it was like, fuck, it was crazy. Because we played him twice that year, his first season. And yeah, but I think Ty Law sparked everything off. He most certainly sparked everything off.
My brain always goes to more recent things. Right, Max rookie year.
Are you heartbreaking?
Huh?
What you want to go with heartbreaking moments?
No. Damian Harris against the Bills.
Yeah.
Right, for the number 1 seed. Yep, and he just ran right up the middle untouched.
Sit down.
That was like the best I've ever felt since Brady left. Being a Patriots fan was that game, because we became the number 1 seed. We just dethroned the Bills. Right, it was I think a Sunday night game. Right, crazy weather. Mac Jones was looking good. Right, we had like this promising kid, and we were a team that had like no expectations. We were 9-4, and that was just beautiful. That was on. And then I think that's a top 5 Bill Belichick game ever. Just coaching.
Yeah.
Like that was insane. throwing 3 times and winning against
Uh-huh.
one of the best offenses in the entire league.
Yeah, you see what McVay came to the podium and said? Oh, let's not go off and give Belichick all this credit or something he said like that. He was hot, but I'm like, you can't be mad when you got beat in that fashion.
I mean, not even a Bill Belichick. Like, that's one of the greatest coached
I
games.
heard Josh McDaniels came up with the thought and Belichick approved it. Like, okay. Because it's like, that shows the genius of the coaching staff. That we knew what Mac Jones was. So just because the world says, "Oh yeah, they being scary, they're not throwing them," we know he can't throw in that type of weather. So why even sit here and try to play around with it to prove what to who? When Bill might be looking at it as they have one of the softest run defenses in the league. Let's keep pounding and hitting these guys in the mouth. Keep pounding and hitting them in the mouth. And guess what? That's what it showed because all that season, the word on Buffalo was they were soft against the run.
Right.
And the Patriots came in there and just smacked them in the mouth. Because who wants to sit there and keep getting hit like that in the snow?
Them, yeah.
You know what I mean? But it wasn't like crazy snow on the ground, but you understand what I'm saying? Like
It was like the wind and the snow. It was just like
that freezing temperature. And
right.
these guys, these big ass linemen that New England love to have, heavy handed. They leaning on you 45 times.
Right. Yeah, that was an incredible game.
Yeah, and Damian Harris, that one cut, he did it. Another thing I can think of, honestly, for me, when did Drake May first start against the Jets?
The Texans.
I think that was a moment for me, even though we lost bad. That was a moment for me that I let go of holding my breath for the last couple of years. Because as I continue to watch him week by week, like I said, wins and losses, people can say whatever. You can measure them up however, the turnovers or whatever. Listen, when you watch him play, considering the way how they talk down on the team, he played damn good because the offense looked competent. It just
drastic. I mean, and it was nice because we literally could see the difference between him and Jacoby.
Right.
Everything else was the exact same. The only difference was him and Jacoby. Right. Like, I mean, literally the entire team around him improved. Right. You could see the statistics of, points per game, sacks taken, receptions per throw, like everything improved.
Off the chart accuracy. Off the chart.
Yeah, that first touchdown to Booty.
Oh my God.
Deep ball sideline. That was one of the nastiest throws.
And he gets people with it a lot. Didn't he do it on the Jets too? Like him and Keyshawn Booty have that type of connection.
They did that a few times last season.
Yeah.
Because they did the Bills game where the first touchdown, that was a dot to Booty. It was a similar play. It was a little bit shorter, but it was the exact same type of route. And
because it's like for them to, his footwork, his this, his that, his this, his that. He literally came out and proved all that to be a crock of shit. Like literally his accuracy rate, like everybody wants to go off about Jaden Daniels and he's special. But at the end of the day, like I said, both Caleb and Jaden Daniels came into number one wide receiver. Terry McLaurin.
Yeah. And the only one it worked out for really was Jaden Daniels.
Keenan Allen. Fucking Rome Odunze.
Yeah, DJ Moore.
DJ Moore. What did Drake May have? And you can still make the argument, and you look at him and Caleb's stats of last year, we are talking about my guy set out about, 6 games? 6 or 7 games?
Yeah.
And then you go look at the number 1 pick in the draft, and he played all year.
Right. And then, right, I mean, just like the sacks alone, where that's where the really big difference is right. Caleb Williams, a lot of his sacks statistically was because he was holding on to the ball, right? Like there's like the thing that's out there that can determine if the sack was more on the offensive lineman or more on the quarterback. And Caleb was like one of the worst in the league. Like he took most of the sacks were his fault, right? Holding on to the ball. I mean, you can just watch the game. I mean, the game against us, right? 9 sacks, and you can argue if 4 of them were just purely because he was holding on to the ball and wouldn't get rid of it. So
sure. And they said Gerard, I think, coached that point to him. Said hold your coverages because he likes to hold on to the ball. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, I mean, the whole league knew that, and
and they're still trying to talk this kid up. And you want to know what? Hey, teach his own.
Because that's a tough habit to get rid of, especially where you developed it in your first year. Because that's like a being scared. That's like not trusting your gut, not trusting your receivers, not trusting your coaching staff. Like there's a lot that goes into holding onto the ball for too long.
Had I been in them GM shoes, I'm telling you, Drake May or Jaden Daniels would have been my 1 or 2.
Because I like Jaden the most out of everyone that year.
Yeah, you just look at him. Drake May is the all American golden boy, you should say. He has everything you would look for: polarizing height, natural strength. He's not big and bulky, but he has that natural strength, a natural arm to him. Highly athletic, smart, motivated, hardworking, big arm. He can move. That's what you asked for in today's today's game. You got Jaden Daniels. Yeah, he's a little underweight, but he can make every throw you can think of. He has the experience. He's fast. He can run. He has a good IQ. Then you have Caleb. He's short. He can make some spectacular throws when he has the time to. He can escape out of trouble.
His big thing is like that out of pocket, on the run kind of plays where he's throwing a little sidearm kind of looking thing.
His IQ's not there, but I just find it so funny because everybody holler Mahomes. Oh, he plays like Mahomes, but I keep telling people go back to when Patrick Mahomes was first drafted by the Chiefs and tell me any analyst that was on the air talking good about it.
Yeah, Mahomes was getting ragged on. That's why he dropped to number 10.
And that's why, because that play style hadn't worked in the NFL. Nobody had seen it work. But then it came in and worked. But I don't think people are credited enough to the team that Patrick Mahomes went to. Same as how you look at Bill on defense. Andy Reid is very much that on offense.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about a quarterback whisperer? He was winning games with Alex Smith too.
Yeah, Alex Smith was a dog. They were nice. They were nice with him.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like you got Mahomes, who's a better player, so he's taking his playbook and his offensive play calling team and everything to another stratosphere.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens when you have that transcendent player, or you have a coach that's that smart and he finally gets what he needs in his hand. Bill and Tom worked so well because Tom's first thing he had to learn was, and then Bill said he did it well. Okay, 1 second, buddy. So Bill did it well. Don't turn my ball over. Tom did that well. Don't turn the ball over. Bill promised him, look, I'll have a good defense for you that's going to keep points off the board. You get the ball into the right spots, the right places. I don't care if the score is this or that much. And that's how we was able to win. And over that time that Tom Brady learned those fundamentals towards those mid-2000s, that's when we started seeing what he was, because he learned the basic fundamentals. And his first Super Bowl, what he threw for 141? No touchdowns? But he wasn't turning the ball over.
Right, yeah.
So he had to learn how to play the game And then he became that Tom Brady that we know, the comebacks, the constant to shred you up, to eat you. That's coaching. So Patrick Mahomes went to the best place that he could have possibly went. But Caleb, I just don't like they're swearing, oh, Ben Johnson's gonna fix it. This is Ben Johnson's first time as a head coach. Have we not seen this from Adam Gase, who was supposed to be an offensive genius with Peyton Manning, Nathaniel Hackett? I mean, we can run down the list.
Right.
And it's like I'm not hating on Caleb or want to really rag on him, but it's like realistically looking at it, it's not like he had this encouraging year that showed you, well, next year he's ready to step up to the plate and ball. Drake,
Yeah.
You can say that. You can say that because you've seen it when what y'all perceive to not be much or talent, he made it look good. The Rams is a team that y'all consider to be this elite of the elite. He hung right with them.
Yeah, I mean, they went to the NFC Championship, right? Was that the Rams Eagles?
Yeah.
So, right, I mean,
I said Gerard just can't coach a game.
right.
All the busted coverages and everything else in between, but Drake May was very much the reason because what were we down? I think we were down double digits late. And he brought it back late in the game to tie it up.
Yeah, we had one more drive, and then the coaching staff, right, changed the play call where we were kind of like, quick, 5 yards, 10 yards, 5 yards, 10 yards. And then we decided on the game-winning drive to throw it deep. And the receiver, was it Pop?
Yeah,
was
Pop
right out or something. There was a miscommunication with that. Right? Like, that's part of it. Another moment, and this is one of my personal favorites, is the butt fumble.
I knew you
Vince Wilfork, right? Another one against the Jets. I saw that. I know. I saw it the other day. Yeah, I will never forget. Right? Was it Mark Sanchez ran right into his own guy that Wilfork was pushing back? Ran into his own guy, fumbled it on his ass, fell to the ground. We recovered. It was just one of the funniest moments in Patriots history.
You know what was a moment for me? I just gotta hold up. I'm looking right now to confirm.
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Because I actually like the kid, and I my daughter gave me his card, even though he's not on the team no more. I actually still got him. Let me see. Hold up. Let me see that career high game. And I feel like there was a game where he actually played like pretty damn good. Let me see. It was 309 versus the Chargers. Yeah, when the Patriots played the Chargers, right? Bailey Zappi.
Okay.
I thought he looked damn good that game.
Yeah, was that the first game that he was in?
This was December 3rd of 2023. He threw for 309, completed 27 to 31 passes with 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions.
Because it was that, and then the Broncos game.
Yeah, he played.
Maybe the Chargers was the first one that he played in when Zappy Fever officially started.
Yeah,
that whole disaster. He did look nice though. You have to admit he did look kind of nice.
What you want to say hi to the camera? Come say hi.
What's going on?
Good.
All right, go watch TV.
I want to get out. I want to get out a second.
All right, go play with your toys.
Okay.
Close my door, please. But yeah, Bailey Zappi. I actually, because I feel like even though with Zappi, even though I feel like I would take Drake May over any of them any day of the week, I do feel like for Zappi though, I feel like he should have had that job. Considering I think the way the end of the 2022 happened.
He did eventually get it.
Yeah, but the way
That was more Mac losing it than be getting it.
And you know what? And not to even get too far into it, but for as callous as people say Bill is, he gave Mac enough rope to hang himself.
Yeah, I mean, he had enough opportunity. I mean, obviously, like the receivers and the offensive line, and you can argue with that, but I mean, he had 3 years to figure it out.
Yeah, and they said Bill said he didn't want to take his starting job. He wanted to give Mac a chance to fix it because he probably felt like he was just going into a slump.
Yeah, the bigger thing with Mac is just like the only thing you could really argue was that he never got a good receiving core, never had a good offensive line. Right, it was just everything around him was kind of terrible. But like we were talking about earlier with Drake May, right? Drake May had the same thing, arguably worse, and he made it better.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you can just tell us straight from that. Right,
Yeah.
Mac's rookie year was just like one of Bill's best years ever coaching.
Because realistically, though, Brendan, what do people expect us to do when the Patriots spent more money than anybody has spent up until that point in free agency to get Mac a roster in his rookie year? Okay, the Matt Patricia thing, like I said, we can pull teeth with it, but there are some positives that came out of it that I can point to, that I can say that the Patriots would have made the playoffs with Matt Patricia as an offensive coordinator if Ramondre Stevenson did not fumble that ball on the 3-yard line against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, because we were 8-9. I mean,
the
game
Raiders,
against Miami, we needed someone to lose or whatever
right,
to get in.
Raiders, Jacoby Myers game. When he
we don't talk about that game.
Yeah, he ended up becoming a Raider, like I said he would.
Yeah,
Jacoby Myers. That game on Thanksgiving, they robbed us.
Yep, Vikings. Yep,
they robbed us. Mac played a hell of a game that game. I will give him
3
that.
touchdowns, and the 100 touchdown was taken away.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said where they robbed us at.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, we can pull teeth with that, but it's like, what were the Patriots realistically supposed to do? All right, we can go after the Cole Strange pick in 2022, but who would have been a better person in that spot? Now, realistically thinking about it, because I really can't even remember that draft like that, because it seemed like it was a weaker draft. That was where Kenny Pickett went in the first round. He was the only quarterback, and Brock Purdy came out of the freaking 7th round.
Yeah,
Mr. Irrelevant. So it's like, okay, 2023, we got Gonzo. So it did seem like we were still going defensive, but realistically, looking at the players that we got over that time span, maybe in the early rounds, Keon White, Christian Gonzalez, I'm grateful for them. I feel like they're better options than what I can think of right now that was still there.
Yeah, because there's Gonzo, and then everyone was talking about Zay Flowers. I wanted Zay Flowers.
Yeah,
but now looking back on it, it's like, yeah, Gonzo was by far the better pick.
Yeah, because it's like, all right, JSN, he's looking pretty good. Jordan Addison's looking pretty good.
Yeah, Jordan, yeah.
Every guy that we're talking about was all slot guys. And we're basically getting that out of Pop right now. But all those guys are basically slot guys. The only guy that was a perimeter threat that was supposed to be that went in the first round and he's looking like he's a bust is Quentin Johnston.
He's a bust.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, not to even try to take blame from, what I mean? Like I said, we can pull teeth with it all day long, but realistically, looking at it overall, like I tell everybody, you guys suck. No, that's okay. I told them that's okay. We got to rebuild. We were a good team for a long time. We got to build it back up, but just know that it's going to get back there. We recovered. We recovered from losing Tom Brady quicker than a lot of franchises recover from losing a quarterback that can get them at least to the playoffs or one that's going to keep them competitive.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I got a question.
Yeah.
And if I'm wrong, you got all rights to grind me up about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I see this Mac Jones figurine. It's like $5.
Yeah.
Would I be wrong if I buy it?
Is it like a bobblehead kind of thing, or like
It's kind of something like this.
$5?
Right.
To say that it was like from his rookie year, right? Like I have a big picture of Mac Jones's first ever touchdown pass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, right, just say it was his rookie year because that's the only thing that Bailey Zappi card. Yeah. Right. I mean, there's good moments, right? It's not like
I don't want to cut them out of the story.
right. Mac's
Because
rookie year was
Mac
fun.
did get us Drake May.
Hmm?
Mac did get us Drake May.
Technically, yes, and Zappi did too.
That's what like,
They both did.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like, can we really hate those guys? Like, I don't hold nothing against Mac Jones where it's like,
Mac got us Gonzo.
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
Okay,
like Mac, you did what you did. You know, you still stink, but though I still feel like he was point shaving his last year there, or he went nuclear. Like, fuck it, I know they're not gonna hold on to me in this franchise much longer. I hate my coach. It seems like they're kind of withery with him too. So shit, we're all about to get fired.
yeah, the writing was on the wall. They had to at least known, especially Mac. I mean, come on, you
Bro,
don't get benched, 5 different times in 2 years.
That game versus the Colts, and then
Like, there's the moment, right?
The touchdown pass.
Yeah, that's when I knew it was dead. That's when I knew like the Mac Jones thing was totally dead.
The Cowboys.
Yep.
The Raiders. These were all games
still hanging on.
Not that one. I'm talking about, remember the last time we played and we lost, I think it was like 17-19. On Max Crosby, I think strip sacked him or sacked him in the end zone. Mac let him
oh yeah.
On him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matter of fact, because it was 16-17, I think. And then he sacked Mac.
Yeah, for safety.
The safety, and then it became 19-16. We lost that game.
We gotta beat them week 1 this year. I'm so sick of the Raiders. We're losing to them in the worst ways.
I feel like our secondary is going to be able to contain Brock Bowers. I'm not going to say we're going to shut him down, but contain him. Like, it's so many good guys in that secondary that I find it hard, especially with Geno Smith. It's going to carve up Mike Vrabel type of defense. It's, you know what I mean? All right, yeah, they can have a lot of film on his style of defense. Same way we got a lot of film on Pete Carroll style of offenses. So we know Ashton Genty is going to be featured a lot in that game plan.
I mean, he has to be, right? He's obviously their best running back.
And you got Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, I mean, they got a decent skill position group, but I mean, I think Ashton Genty might struggle just where we have so many great run stoppers.
The Jacoby Myers thing can easily be fixed like this. Who do the Raiders have on the perimeter that's a threat?
It's just Myers and Brock.
All right, so look. Hey, Gonzo, let me kick you inside, right? You take away Jacoby Myers in the slot. Take him one-on-one. Carlton Davis, I want you on the number 2 receiver. You take him out the game one-on-one. And whoever's supposed to be a threat on the outside, he can get doubled. Whoever the number 1 is. Because Gonzo could take Jacoby Myers one-on-one all day.
Yeah, that's no question.
Carlton Davis can take any of their corners. Matter of fact, you can even take Carlton Davis and ask him to sit on whoever the number 1 option on the outside is, to take that away.
Yeah, you can put Carlton wherever, just because outside of Myers, like receiver-wise, it's an even playing field. So you can kind of just do whatever.
The only problem with that is Marcus Jones would now be playing out of position where he would have to play more on the perimeter with a 5'8" frame.
Yeah.
But who's another corner? Alex Austin.
Yeah, he's nice.
Yeah, I feel like he would fit in well with that secondary, because it's not like he's a bad player. He has the potential to be a pretty good player, and usually those type of players, you surround them with great players. I still believe in Kyle Duggar. I
think
really
Duggar would be nice on Bowers, Duggar and Jabril.
right.
They'll be nice on them. I think that's a good matchup right there.
Craig Woodson coming downhill.
Yep. Yeah, he just signed his rookie contract today.
In these big nickel packages. You
Yeah.
can get all three of those guys on the field. You got Mapu out there. I'm excited to see what he does at the linebacker spot. I think they're going to use Mapu the same way he was using what's that guy that's always getting all the fines? He plays for the Texans now, I think. He a linebacker, but he moves and he hit. Zeke Alshire.
Oh, yeah.
Remember when he was in Tennessee? He was sideline to sideline, all over the place. That's why I'm excited for Mapu, because he shows the changing of the guard, that now we've transitioned to a linebacker that actually got speed.
Yeah.
Over the years, Bill just wouldn't do it. And it's like, I love Juwan Bentley, but I think that kicked us in the ass a lot of times was our speed. Just the overall speed of the team, offense and defense. I feel like we were one of the slower teams in the league.
Yeah, easily. I mean, Bill liked his big body backers, and he was still like, in the mode of, the run was the biggest part of the game, and wasn't really switching into the more athletic type of football.
Right. And that's why people say some of the players that's in the Patriots scheme, that's the scheme, because it's like other teams don't view those players like that, because how they want to utilize them, they feel like they wouldn't be able to utilize them in that way. Bill does it in a way where they can't get compromised.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, because see, Mapu has always been valuable, because I know the person to say, well, damn, why did the Patriots take all those safeties around the same time? I think, for one, if Bill was still there, I think he would have let Duggar walk, possibly. And Mapu would have been there to replace him on that, because they're very similar. Or the Patriots were a heavy dime defense type of team. So they were going to be using a lot, they're going to be using a lot more dime, where they would need somebody like Mapu on the field, that when you got 6 DBs out there, you at least need one of them that can play inside, that can play like a linebacker somewhat. So
right.
You use heavy usage like the Vikings do with what's his face? He used to be our D coordinator. What's his name?
Brian Flores.
Yeah, Flores. So
yeah.
I mean, that makes sense, but I like that, and I like what I hear coming out of training camp. Like, I love it. Like, I just feel like I trust his coaching staff. I trust it.
I mean, the players do too, right? You heard Keon. Keon said that he finally has a coach.
Right.
That's kind of a crazy statement, but
Yeah, whatever happened with him and Gerard was. But then again, like I said, I heard Gerard rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. So
yeah,
it's I don't know.
All right, what's another moment?
Let me think.
Because I have it was when Brandon Cooks was on our team. We're facing Deshaun Watson and the Texans. We had I think it was the game-winning drive where Brandon Cooks went to the left side of the field, front of the end zone. Brady dumped the ball, caught the ball right after the defender kind of went by him, toe tapped into the front corner of the end zone for the win. I think it was maybe a couple seconds left or something.
Texans. Versus the Texans.
Yeah, against the Texans.
Yeah. That was a great moment. You want to know what mine was? And it's probably one of the underrated ones.
Mm-hmm.
Was Malcolm Mitchell. He played a huge part. Which Super Bowl was it? Was it the Falcons?
Yes, 6 receptions 70 yards, I think.
Yeah,
You know, something like
it
that.
he was a key option. Hold up. Keep going, because my girl carries something upstairs. I can't let her do it by herself. But I'm listening though. I'm right here. Keep going.
What's another good one? I'm trying to stay away from the Super Bowls because we all know the Super Bowls. Probably. Damn, that's a good one. Right, there was the comeback against the Broncos. Right, that's always a good one. That's not really a moment, but that's like, you know, a game where, you know, Brady kind of showed his superiority against Peyton Manning. Right, those are always fun where he's, you know, facing a top tier quarterback. I think it was against Miami when Edelman had the catch in the middle of the field, and I believe it was Amendola, right? Was it Amendola? Where he, you know, crushed the safety right next to him, let Edelman kind of break out, run to the back of the end zone. That was a great one. That was a massive hit. That one I'll always remember. And then I think a classic is the game against the Colts, right? The game that started Deflategate, where we ran, over 220 yards against them. Just dog hunted them with LeGarrette Blount. That was a great one. I mean, they just had no shot in that game. When Gronk, right, the throw out of the club game, right, that was against the Colts, right? That was awesome, right? That was prime Gronk, where, right, it took 5 guys to take him down, and, you know, they tried some silly shit on him, so he just threw the guy completely out of the game, you know, drove him right into the ground. That's a great one. This isn't really a Patriots moment, but whenever this is kind of more recently, whenever the Miami Dolphins have to play in playoffs and they're playing in super cold weather, because I hate Miami more than any team ever, right? Those are the best. Those are some of my favorite non-Patriots moments is when Miami is just getting smoked, right? And you can just see it, like, you know, a week ahead, just where it's, you know, it's going to be less than 40 degrees, right? There's the stats of, you know, Tua is just historically awful once it drops under 40 degrees. That's always a great hate watch. Love seeing that.
I'm back.
Yeah, I just named a few. I was right, the throwing out the club game with Gronk, LeGarrette Blount against the Colts in the AFC Championship or the divisional round. And then I was mentioning, you know, anytime Miami plays in playoffs when it's under 40 degrees, that's a good hate watch. Those are a few.
You want to know, it was a big moment when we blew the Chargers out in that 2018 season in the playoffs. Because the moment, it changed the moment, because remember, we went 11-5 that season. That was our worst record since, what, 2011?
That sounds about right.
I think that was so you know, people were wondering. And remember, we got blown out by the Chiefs. Was it early that season?
Yeah, because I think we started 2-2, right? And we lost to the Chiefs like 40-20, something like that.
Yeah, no. It couldn't have been that season because this Alex Smith was still the quarterback when they beat the shit out of us at home. I think that was the 2017 season. But I know that season didn't start off well. I think we lost to the Lions that year too. I think we lost to fucking Matt Patricia's Lions.
Yeah, that sucked.
Yep. So I feel like the narrative around us changed, and coming off that Super Bowl with the Eagles, people were saying we lost our defensive fastball and everything else. We lost this, we lost that, and then going into that playoffs, I feel like that Chargers, because remember the Chargers had a good team that year. We dog walked them. So I feel like that changed the narrative, and then we faced who in the second round? No, that was the divisional round because we weren't in the we weren't in the wild card. No, we didn't go to the wild card. But that was the divisional round. We stomped them, and then there was the game versus the Chiefs.
Yeah,
and Tom Brady here's the young hot Patrick Mahomes. Tom Brady.
That was a freaking awesome game, right?
Three straight fourth quarter comebacks.
Classic Brady. Oh my God.
Three straight. So I feel like that changed the moment for us. And remember, coming off that Super Bowl versus Philly, people were saying, "Oh, Bill has lost his touch on defense. He's lost his defensive fastball." And then he came into that, and then we played the Rams, and we dismantled that offense to the point where it looked like putty in our hand. And then remember coming out into that 2019 season, I don't think nobody threw a touchdown pass on the Patriots until like week 6, and that was the first touchdown pass thrown against them was against the Giants. But I think people are forgetting how historic that 2019 is. Stephon Gilmore.
Gilmore was the
30 years. That defense was historic.
Yeah, the boogeyman.
That was a historic defense. That was especially I think we started losing our touchdown to stretch. Because
I'll say that 2019 to 2022 was some of the best defensive play the Patriots have ever had. Right, there's all the stats of losing 8 one-score games, and we had the 3 games in a row of not letting up more than 10 points each game and still going on. Like our defense in the stretch was just absolutely incredible. There it is.
Completed it.
Sheesh, you gotta put it on.
Use different paint.
You gotta put it on.
No, hell no. It's too small for my head. Yeah, no, it's too small for my head.
Are you doing another one?
Yeah, probably. So probably an alternate. I want to do one where the shell is just all navy blue. With some shine to it, just keep the helmet the same with a red face mask. I seen a picture like that. I was like, yo, that'd be so dope if they do that. We need an alternate helmet. Like, I like our old schools, but it's like we done seen them before. Everybody
the division rivalry unis that are supposed to come out, but we haven't heard anything about it. Right? I think the AFC East is the first ones to do it. AFC East, and then the NFC. Maybe the NFC East too. I don't know, but they're supposed to be the division rivalry uniforms are supposed to come out this year.
Yeah, we definitely need some new.
I'm hoping those are just like the royal blue throwbacks, and because there was I think it was the Valentine's Day. There was a post. The Patriots had the helmets. The logo was the first logo we ever had, where it was just the hat. That would be so fire.
Right.
That would be so
in the middle?
Huh?
With a 60 in the middle?
I don't think it had the 60. I think it was just the plain helmet.
I'm saying if they was to put a 60 in the middle, like for 1960.
Yeah, a little kind of change it up a bit. That'd be kind of cool too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just want the blues back, man. I want a Drake May royal blue. That'd be so fire.
Yeah, because I feel like look at teams like the Texans, the Vikings, the Packers. Like they're getting new flavors. We still sitting on silver helmets, blue jerseys.
And we got to get over the uniforms that we have now, because all I associate it with is Brady leaving, right? Mac Jones, just absolute horror, and until now, we got to change this up, especially where there's all this Vrabel and Drake May, and we got
a new era.
Yeah, we got to change it up. And it has to be royal blues because the royal blues are just straight.
Yeah. Just something unique to the Mike Vrabel era. Please.
Yeah. You gotta do something. I hope the rivalries are sick. I'm nervous that it's just be some like bland bullshit that the NFL is just gonna push for every team to get.
Right. Because that color rush, look at it. When they came out with Color Rush, we've been wearing our Color Rush uniforms ever since.
Yep. Yeah, the color rush was cool when it was just the color rush, and now it's all the time, and now it's just. I mean, we got rid of the blue pants. We have this pants, which is just an old uniform, or not even that old. Right. This Brady era.
Right. Just change the dirt. Just change everything. Just change it. That's it. Yeah. Change it all. Give Drake May. If this is supposed to be a new turning of the page, I'm not saying recreate the wheel, change the original logo. Nah. Give us some better uniforms. Some different helmets.
Yeah, like you wanna profit off of Drake May, give him his own uniform. Like
Right.
his style.
Right. A uniform we never seen Tom Brady in. I mean, we never seen Tom Brady in the all white ones we have, but I think we did. Yeah, Color Rush. I'm lying.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we did. But you know who we have seen in that is Mac Jones. He's happy. Right?
Like, we know who we have seen.
Yeah. Right. We need some new ones. If they need to start making some money with Drake May here. Right? Give him some swag.
Even you
like
see
Gonzo would look sick in a new uniform.
Even you see some of the alternate helmets, like they got a signed mini helmet. You look it up. Christian Gonzalez is probably like $100 and something bucks. It's black and the Patriots logo is red.
Yep, I love the chrome red. The chrome red helmets, those are fire with the Pat Patriot on the side. Oh my god! Like, just do that. I don't. I'm assuming that it's just NFL rules that are preventing that. But like, I mean, like you said,
the damn Texans got some crazy. Look at the Texans. They got some crazy shit.
They have so many. They have a uniform for every week. They're like Oregon.
Yeah, the Jaguars used to have two-tone helmets.
Yeah, we got to get something. The rivalry thing was announced so long ago, and we got zero updates. I don't know when we're supposed to do that. I thought we were going to get a new uniform by the time at least the draft, or if they want to sell rookie uniforms, I would have thought they would have put in some new jerseys. But now I'm wondering if we wait for the 53-man to be.
Just think about it. The
Vikings first preseason game. Like,
think about it. The Vikings have came up off their signature their signature purple helmets. The Packers have came up off their signature yellow cheesehead helmet. The Detroit Lions are now changing their helmets. The Bears have came up off of their original blue helmets.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do I need to keep? It's like Dallas and New England, the only two teams that keep doing this bullshit.
Right.
The Jets even got some harder shit than us.
And the thing with the Cowboys, right? They only have two colors, really, right? Blue and silver. Where the Patriots have red, white, and blue. Like, that's like the easiest to come up with combination.
Baby's up. I'll start shutting down. Yeah. We definitely need some better uniforms.
Yeah. I don't know when that's going to happen. Needs to happen soon. I have a feeling, right, if it doesn't happen by the first preseason game, it's not happening.
Right. Like, they should announce something.
I'm curious about the division rivalries, but like I have a feeling that's only going to be like one, maybe two games this year.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you sell these up there?
Needham's? I don't think so. I haven't seen Needham. I mean, we have like those style, pretzels, but I don't know about Needham's.
Oh, that's I work there. That's what I was asking.
You work for Needham's?
Nah, I work for Unique. These pretzels are called needles.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I make them. I'm a mixer. I run the mixing machine and shit. So
Gotcha. Okay.
now I was just wondering if they sold it up there.
Yeah, I don't think so. I haven't heard of them.
They good though. I'm gonna have to sing you some. But all right, that's pretty much. I can't even think of much right now. At the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm just trying to stay away from, the obvious playoff Super Bowl kind of things. But yeah. Well, I'll let you go.
Yeah, I'm about to go in daddy mode.
Yep. Take care of the kid. Take care of the kid. All right.
You know what time it is.
Yes, sir. There you
Listen,
go.
I'm really like tracking myself and planning on it, trying to be up there for that statue revealing. So I'm gonna let you know.
Against the Commanders.
Yeah, I
Okay.
gotta see it. I miss Bill when he was there. Like I felt like, I'm telling myself, I gotta get there. I gotta see that. All right, a picture, something.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
I wonder if they're gonna put one of Bill out there. He deserves it, but
No, I don't think so.
yeah, with him,
Not with the way it ended. I don't think so.
yeah, and it still seems like they're still a little.
They might name a building after him or something, or like the practice field, maybe the
Right.
Bill Belichick field or something. I don't know,
Right.
something
Just
like that.
sad, man. Just sad.
But all right, I'll talk to you
All
later.
right. Have a good one, bro.
We're on to Cincinnati. It's nothing about the past, nothing about the future. It's right now we're preparing for Cincinnati.
Okay, do you feel like the talent you have here is good enough?
We're getting ready for Cincinnati.
What is your
Is it- I mean-
responsibility?
Well, I mean, I'm just asking, do you think you've done enough to help Tom Brady?
We're getting ready for Cincinnati. Stupid thing.